me start off with saying this really happened. My friend stayed the night with me one night when we were about 15 years old. It was around middle school times. No one was at the house at the time, only us. It was getting late, so I decided I needed to take a shower and get ready for bed. While I was in the shower, my friend was watching TV in the living room. I was in deep thought in the shower, and then I heard some footsteps by the door. It was so loud that I literally called out, "Megan, is that you?" But no one answered. I looked at the bottom of the door and I saw a shadow, like someone was standing in front of the door. It creeped me out so bad that I got out of the shower real fast to kind of see if my friend was pranking me. I opened the door extremely fast, expecting to see my friend running away and laughing. It was so silent in my house. I walked out of the bathroom and saw my friend sleeping on a couch. I felt this horrible nervous feeling. I woke her up because I was scared. I told her and she was creeped out too. I went to get back in the shower when all of a sudden she started yelling at me. She told me to look at the rocking chair. Well, it was more of a rocking recliner. It was gliding lightly back and forth by itself. She kept saying she wanted to go home. She ended up staying, but we did not sleep that night. I think the ghost that lives next door stopped by for a visit. My best friend lived next door to us, in this big creepy white house. We were about 13 years old and into the Craft movie. You know, the movie that was about witchcraft. And we wanted to be cool just like them. We were stupid kids and did not know what we were messing with. In the movie, there is this god that they chant to named Menul. We thought it was a good idea to go into the garage, light some candles, and we sat in a circle with her brother. We held hands and chanted to this fake god like they did in the movie. Maybe into the fourth chant, the garage door flew up and down hard. We jumped so fast and ran, almost peed my pants. We did not go back in there. We made her brother go in to make sure the candles were not burnt. I was crying and so freaked out. We were the only ones at her house at the time. We knew it was paranormal, but until this day, we cannot explain it. One day, we're at my best friend's house. We already knew that her house was haunted. One experience I had was when her and I and her older brother were there by ourselves, sitting in the living room. All we were doing was just playing Monopoly, and we kept hearing this noise down the hallway. They just moved in, so there wasn't really much unpacked, and it was just a very empty house. This house is big and has long hallways, so her brother had his mattress propped up against a wall in his bedroom. While we all were in the living room, we heard a door slam. It was so loud, it made all of us jump. Her older brother decided to check it out. He found that his door was now closed to his bedroom and the mattress was on the floor. We all walked around the house to make sure there was no doors or windows open that could cause a gust of wind. We found no reason how that could have happened. That house really makes me feel uneasy and like someone is watching me all the time. Sleep paralysis is real. I know it's paranormal related. I have a couple experiences growing up into adulthood. I had an experience when I was 17 and still living with my parents. I woke up in the dead of night and felt this horrible sense of evil. I could not move my body. I was terrified. I felt tears starting to swell up in my eyes. All I could move were my eyes. Something told me to pray. I felt like I needed to think of a shield around my body, like Bella in Twilight. I know now that it's used for an energy barrier. It was like a natural response. I prayed and repeated over and over, "You are not welcome here, in God's name. Leave my house. God is in this house, and you need to leave." After repeating this, I started to feel the heavy, evil feeling starting to lift. It was the scariest thing I've ever experienced. The other experience was about 2 weeks later when it was late at night. I heard someone walking outside of my window. The heavy feeling came back. This time, I was awake. It sounded like heavy footsteps were walking through a bunch of leaves. Then it was weird. I went to push my hair out of my face, and I ended up scratching the side of my cheek real deep. It bled and I cried. It felt like it wasn't me who scratched me. I went and woke my mom up and told her everything. She believed me. I felt like a demon or spirit was antagonizing me. Then I haven't had any of those experiences for a while. This was the last time I had an experience like this. I really felt like all of my sleep paralysis happened when I was dating my ex. I am thinking he had a demon on his back, and since I am overly sensitive to that kind of energy, it was attracted to me. This time was the worst experience I have ever had. I was upset for months. Just talking about this shakes me to my core. It was early in the morning and could not move. I looked up and there was a person floating above my head. It was all in black with medium-length black hair. I could not see the face because its hair was hanging in front of the face. I felt so much dread, and I felt this alluring sensation as my hands were reaching up and pulling the person down to me by their hair, very slowly, like pulling a balloon to you. Then, in my head, I heard a voice yell to me, "What are you doing? No." It's like I came back to my senses. I let go of this thing. The only thing I could move at that time was my arm. I closed my eyes and started praying. "You are not welcome here. God is in this house. In God's name, you need to leave." Suddenly, I could move, and the thing was gone. But then, it only got worse. My 6-year-old son came into my room crying, and he had scratch marks all down his chest. I freaked out, and he ran back to his room. Well, then I got up and walked into his room. But the weird thing is my son was fast asleep, and I even moved his blanket, and he had no scratches on his chest. So I thought maybe it was a bad nightmare. I felt things were back to normal. I laid back down, and I was so upset that I shook my boyfriend awake so I could tell him what happened. I was horrified when I touched him, and he turned to me with a very sinister look on his face, and he smiled so evil. He started laughing. Very creepy, and I just froze. I didn't know what to do. I closed my eyes and prayed over and over. Then I woke up for a third time. This time was different. I was out of the hell I was just in. I felt the weight lifted over my house. My son and boyfriend were still sleeping. I sat at the end of the bed and bawled until my boyfriend woke up. I told him everything. I was hysterical. He wrapped his arms around me and we prayed while he held his rosary beads. Since then, I have remarried to a very good man, and I have never had any of these type experiences happen again. Do you ever feel like you have sold your soul to the devil without realizing it? I was a middle-aged woman that has gone through a lot of hurt. I told God I was ready to settle down and give all of me to the one. I begged and pleaded night after night. I was tired of being a single mom and struggling all by myself. I needed help. Well, one night, it was real bad. I remember I've had suicidal thoughts. My depression was getting really bad. Prayed to God and prayed to God. And in the midst of rocking back and forth and crying and saying whatever, I was bargaining with God. And I told him, I said, I just want my true love. I just want a really good man. I want to find the person I'm supposed to settle down with. I even said, I don't care. I have been healthy this whole time. I want that person. I want love. I want happiness. Even if you have to take some of my health, I will be fine. Well, the creepy thing is that I just got remarried to the one. God had sent him to me. That I think it was God that sent him to me. Because 6 months after we started dating and getting serious, I started getting real sick. I'm in hell. I've been keeping a positive attitude. But recently, what made it click was that, did I sell my soul to get the one? To get love and happiness? Did I really bargain my health? Dread. I just felt so much dread. Started questioning my faith. I still do. All this happened because I got a thing back stating that there are 2 masses on my kidneys and it might be renal cancer. And it was weird. I cried a little bit, and yeah, I'm scared. But then all of a sudden in my head, it just clicked, like a thought was in my head. Oh God. Really, God, did I sell my soul to the devil? I'm not sure if this ever happened to anybody. This is Curious Raven. I will tell you that all those stories are from my own experiences. I have had some really creepy things happen to me. I have more stories, and they're all true. 100%. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Remember, it's scary out there.